Awesome to be here.
You want to go ahead and give a little introduction about yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name's Tim Palmer. Last name's Palmer. I've got 4 kids here in Cape Coral. Beautiful wife. Recently retired from the military. October 24th, 2019 was my retirement date. Of course. Thank you as well. Thank you for your service as well. I was born in Buffalo, New York. Had a typical childhood, of course. Loved to play sports. Raised on hockey. The weather climate wasn't the best up there after I had graduated and such, so I decided to join the military, fought for the country for a long time, and then now I found myself down in Southwest Florida. This is where my kids are, so.
Nice. So, Tim, when you came here for the first time, how was your experience with our clinic?
It was fantastic. It was smooth. It was effortless. I came with my wife. We waited for 15 minutes before we got seen. There was a few people ahead of us, of course. Filled out the necessary paperwork and all the documentation. Immediately, we were taken back to the room. Within minutes, got to see Dr. San, talk to him, and explain the situation of what I was going through. I think my whole experience, I was in and out within about an hour and a half, and it was fantastic. He told me and explained to me about all the time it takes to get the card and your prescriptions, and at that time, it was still kind of new. This was probably about 2 years ago now, so it was still fairly new. So there were some challenges to go through, and then to boot, my wife and I were out of this county. We were in, Charlotte County. Yeah.
What surprised you most about our clinic?
The number one was coming in and the energy that everybody had. Everybody was upbeat. Everybody was positive, and that energy flows through the place. Everybody smiles. A smile goes a long way. And when you're down in the dumps with PTSD and you're bad, you're having some bad days and your medication's not mixing the right way, you're willing to try anything to get out of that rut, just to make sure that, your quality of life improves a little bit, to be honest with you. Everybody here lightens the mood immediately. As soon as you walk in, you just get a sense of ease, and I'm excited to see the doctor. I'm excited to fill out my paperwork to get everything taken care of so I can go and get my medication and carry on with my life. Yeah, PTSD is one of the major issues. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It disrupts your entire quality of life. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy, to be honest with you. Sleeping, daily functions, everything become a process, and a long, drawn-out process.
So how has cannabis helped you in
Oh, tremendously. It cuts the edge off like no other. There's nothing else out there as soon as you take it. And it doesn't matter which form you take it in, whether it's a tincture. I've tried them all, the tincture, capsules, vape. Not so much with the vape because it kills my lungs. I really don't like to smoke it. But immediately it cuts the edge. I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and it's better than pharmaceutical.
What was your opinion on medical cannabis before you started using it?
To be honest with you, I was very skeptical, because when I was younger, of course, I dabbled in it and I tried. Every teenager does, every young kid does, and it really wasn't for me. And then, I decided to give it a try, mainly because my wife, with sleeping and waking up and all
that it was working for her.
Absolutely. So, not only her, but some of her family members, some of my family members who have been successful with it. Seeing all the success stories, I said I had to give it a try. And I'm glad I did. It changed the quality of my life forever, tremendously. And it was immediate. As soon as this clinic opened up, I was one of the first customers down here. And I drove all the way from Port Charlotte when I was working way up in Tampa.
It was exciting now that it came to Florida.
Absolutely. I was stoked. And I would have drove to Miami if I had to make sure that all my ducks were in a row so I would legally be able to get the medicine that I needed to have. It's going to improve the quality of life tremendously, not only for children with seizures. I mean, you've got cancer patients. I just read an article the other day that there's a doctor out there that has a cure for blood cancer, and he's refusing to give it to the corporate pharmaceutical giants, and it's a cannabis-based medication.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, I've read a little bit about Dr. San here, and I know he is number one prescribing doctor in the, is it in the state, nation, country, everything?
Whole state. Wow.
Good for him. It's amazing what he's doing for everybody, because it should be able to be easier to get it, that's for sure. Yeah. Of course, it's expensive, and everything comes with a cost. You know, when I have an issue at night with PTSD or my anxiety kicking in, and, you know, a little bit of cannabis, and I'm done. And I'd rather do that than a pharmaceutical.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, but you've also got to make sure you do everything legally. So, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was protected. I've got 4 children. I've got an ex-wife. I've got eyes on me all over, especially with being in the military with security clearances and such. So I needed to make sure everything was documented the right way and everything was done properly.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Trust us.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a great experience. Do want to give a plug and a shout out to the vets. If you're scared of trying medical marijuana and you want to have a conversation, go to Starbucks and chit chat. You're in this local area, let me know. I've been using it for a while. I just retired October 24th. I'm a firm believer in this. If it's used the proper way, it's documented the right way, and you're legally medicated, it helps tremendously. I could go on, and veteran to veteran, you know, going day to day, it's hard to operate without, you know, using the light terminology of, you know, a violent act, so to say, because that's what we're trained to do, especially as a reconnaissance cavalry scout. We were trained killers, and to turn that off is very difficult, especially to reintegrate yourself back into civilian society is very tough. And not to mention when you have 4 children and all the other stressors of life, finances and bills to pay, and it's a lot. So the medical cannabis helps. Use it. Contact me. Reach out. I will gladly give you any type of advice. I'll answer any questions. I'll take time out of my day, and my phone's always on. Highly recommended for veterans.